Hello everyone. Melderon here. Welcome back to the tutorials. In this video, I like to cover some things that I skipped in previous videos. I like to keep leveling, maybe a few more levels, get some more quests done, and then I would like to just hang out with you guys for an hour. So first things I'm going to cover is, as you remember from our last video, we tried to put something on the auction house. Unfortunately, our auction failed. So we got our dark leather pattern back in the mail. That's unfortunate. I'll probably try to put it back up one more time, but we'll do that later. So whenever your auctions either are successful or fail, you'll get a notification in your mail. And as you can see here, I got it back in the mail. When you get it back in the mail, of course, there's no money attached. It's just the actual pattern comes back. So I get that back in my inventory. Okay, so if our auction was actually successful, we would have gotten some gold. Well, not gold, but silver. We would have gotten an attachment with some silver in the mailbox. Okay, that didn't go through. So that's the first thing I wanted to cover. Second thing I wanted to cover is rested XP. As you notice here, my experience bar is blue, and it continues off the screen, which means that I have rested XP up until into the next level, so up until level 8. So you'll notice that whenever I kill anything, my XP will actually be higher than normal. Okay, so that's one thing. Also, a thing I wanted to cover. So this is how rested XP works, guys. This is a bonus to you when you rest in an inn. When you log off in an inn, you have bonus rested XP. So we're gonna try to find some dust bats here. See if we can get this dust bat pelt quest finished. So we're going to look around here for some dust bats. It could be any dust bat, which is nice. So here's one right here. So we'll start attacking. We'll put our battle shout up. My apologies. It's been a while since I've gotten a tutorial video up because Chronos has been down due to some really bad lag errors, and that's something that. If you notice, here I had 128 XP. That's a ton. So that's what happens when you're rested. Okay, my latency is still high, and that's kind of what's been happening over the past couple days, which is cool. I mean, for our intensive purposes, it should be totally fine. All right. Next thing I want to cover is guilds. So guilds are something in this game. I aggroed this guy, which are actually pretty cool. Guilds are like communities online, and what these communities offer players is a sense of camaraderie. So a guild is not just a social thing. I mean, it essentially is social, but guilds provide us ways to, one, interact with other players that are also in the same process or leveling through the game. It gives us people to perhaps trade goods with. So, if, as you know, that I'm a skinner and a miner, so I'm going to have goods that maybe other guildies may want, especially leather and mining and minerals. When in turn we can maybe get stuff from them in a trade situation. So guilds are pretty awesome. But what I like to have guilds for is people to run instances with. Okay. So I was just spamming in trade chat before I started recording this video looking for a leveling guild. So the guild's name is Communist Party, which is kind of funny. It's a very small guild, but for our intents and purposes, it's going to teach us how guilds work. So if you look in our... see, this guy actually... this disappeared while I was skinning. So if you look at our social tab, there are our friends, which I don't have any friends, boo-hoo. The Who, which allows us to look for players in our zone. So if we actually just refresh... These are just a bunch of players in a bunch of different zones. Okay. Now, if I actually open up my chat and I type /who, it will populate a list of 49 people or 50 people that are in this zone. Okay. You can edit this all you want. You can change this any zone you want. I can do barons. Okay. And I can change the level cap from 10 to 20. Okay, you can do anything you want in /who. So this is the social tab. You can mess around with this. You can delete everything here and just look for anything. Just a random assortment of players that it randomly assorted. You can either sort this by level or class, which is pretty cool. But what I really wanted to talk about is guild. So this pane shows you all the people in your guild. There are 36 guild members in this guild, and there are 7 of those players that are actually online. So we can actually look at the status of players, when the last time they logged out, or we can leave just the level in their class. We can sort by level in class, just like we did before. Anyone that's bolded or has color in it means that player is online. So right now there's a mage, a warrior, which is me, another warrior, another mage, and a shaman that are online in this guild. I know we also have a warlock and a mage. So this is how we see who's online. We can private message these people. We can whisper them, invite them to a party. We can target them if they're near us. But what's really cool is that guilds come with a guild chat. So if you enter your chat menu and hit /G, you'll enter the guild chat. And guild chat is always green. Okay. You can send a message to guild chat. If you look up here, if we scroll up through our chat, people are talking. Hello all. Hey, sup. Hey. It's just people saying hi when they log on. So this allows us to track people that are talking in the guild and just people that are having a good time. And you can always say, hey, anyone up for leveling or whatever, anything you want to type. I'm not going to type it now because I'm just going to solo through the content that I'm doing right now. The guilds are a really good way to, one, get yourself immersed in the game, and people that can actually help you through the game. There may be people that are working on the same quest you are, or people that are interested in doing dungeons. So what I tend to do when I'm leveling is I'll spam in trade chat, or in Chronos there's the world chat, and you just say, hey, look, I was just looking for leveling guild. Okay. As you notice here, the guild master is promoting people to different ranks. So this is again, this is called the Communist Party, this guild. So this guy, proletarian, is a guild rank. You can make ranks anything you want. When you create a guild, they have predetermined default ranks. Initiate, Alkalite, all these general, whatever, officer. So there's different ranks. Usually each guild has 5 ranks. You can add or subtract ranks. I believe you can do that in vanilla. But that's for the GM. GMs is outside this tutorial. We're not going to talk about being a guild master. Guild masters are people that usually have experience in the game, and if one day you want to be a guild master, all power to you. I was a GM twice, and it's a really awesome experience, but it can be taxing. So, also when you're in a guild, it tells you when guild members go offline. So, it gives you these different things. So when you're running dungeons, guys, when you're thinking about running a dungeon, I always ask a guild member first. I ask in my guild and say, hey, anybody want to run this dungeon? And if it's a larger guild, this is a small guild, but if it's a larger guild, most of the time people will say yes, and you'll get a part of your party, part of your 5-man party together. So we'll talk about dungeons later, of course, but that's one of our videos that we'll have in the future. For right now, though, we won't be worrying about that. We'll just be questing on our own and doing that. So, okay, so that's pretty much guilds. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a guild chat. You can see who's on. It's a lot of fun, and it's a way for us to interact with other players in a pretty awesome way. At least that's I've had really good experiences with guilds in the past. So, some of the things I'd like to cover is that when I was talking about transportation, I think it was last episode, the Horde has Zeppelins. I want you guys to realize that the Alliance also has major cities too. So, I erroneously said that Orgrimmar, Thunderbluff, and Undercity were the 3 major cities in the game. Well, there are Alliance major cities. So there's Stormwind City, which is in Elwyn Forest, where the humans start. That's the human capital city. There's also Ironforge, which I briefly mentioned in other videos, and that's the dwarf home world, home city. And there's also the last one. Well, it's also gnomes. Gnomes are also in Ironforge. The last one is I just dinged here. So if you see here, guys, this bar, this is the end of my rested experience. So I get rested experience all the way up until here. Okay. I'm actually going to head back towards Brill before I finish this quest to do some training. And I'm actually... No, I'll run back, because I'll try to find some more dust bats. I just realized that these mobs are a little bit higher than me, so I'm going to actually come back and do this quest later. There's other quests that we can do that are more our level. Anyway, so... yeah, so those are the 3... And the third major Horde Alliance city is... Darnassus, which is the Night Elf city, which is in Teldrassil. So if I use my map here, if we zoom out, Stormwind's down here. It's actually still on the map, even though it's in Alliance territory. And then we have Darnassus is here on the other continent, and Ironforge is in the middle right here. So Ironforge, Stormwind, and Darnassus are the 3 Alliance cities. Undercity, Orgrimmar, and Thunderbluff are the 3 Horde cities. So it's even. Just wanted to bring that up. Something that I did not mention earlier in my previous video. There's a dust bat. Still a little laggy. From what I've seen on their community site, they're working on it. So, which is totally fine with me. Things look pretty good. Oh, Death Guard Lundmark. Okay, one more of those and we're done. So we're actually not running towards Brill, we're running the wrong way. So I'm going to start running towards Brill, which is over this way direction. So, yeah, I wanted to give the Alliance where credit is due. So, Alliance they have an interesting transport system. So, in between Stormwind and Ironforge is a deep run trans system. So, there's actually an underground train that connects those 2 cities. If you want to get Darnassus, could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure the Stormwind Harbor is still there. The Stormwind Harbor will take you to Darnassus, and there's also other points that the boat will take you. I think one of them is Booty Bay, and one of them is Ratchet, which is a neutral goblin city. There are multiple goblin cities that are neutral in the game. One of them is Booty Bay, one of them is Ratchet. Ratchet is in the Barrens, Booty Bay is in Stranglethorn Vale, southern Stranglethorn Vale, like all the way at the bottom. So if we zoom out, Booty Bay is down here. Gadgetson, which is in Tanaris, which is here. That's also a neutral Goblin City, and then there's another one, Everlook, which is up here. So these cities are not controlled by the Horde or the Alliance, they're controlled by the Goblin Syndicate. So you can actually get reputation with all these cities if you want to. So that's something that I just want to mention, is that there's more than just the Horde and the Alliance. There's other factions and groups in this game. And we briefly talked about that when we were talking about reputation gains. Okay. Anyway, so let's get our warrior training. So hamstring and heroic strength rank 2. Okay. So ranks, real quick, let's look at heroic strike. A strong attack that increases. Oh, it automatically updated it for me. So if we look in our spell book, rank 1's still there. Oh, okay. Okay, this is kind of important. The reason why rank 1 is in the spellbook, guys, is because rank 2 improves the damage, but at no additional rage cost. Heroic Strike uses 15 rage no matter what. Okay, so there's no point ever looking at rank 1, ever having rank 1 ever again. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you're a mage, however, or a spell using class, like most other classes in the game, you can still use the lower ranks of a spell because their mana cost is lower. So there may be times where it's beneficial to actually use the lower rank of a spell, and that's why they're still available in the spellbook for these other classes. Later in the game, when you hit level 60, you can run out of mana very quickly in a raid boss. So it's maybe prudent for you to use lower ranks of a spell because it uses less mana. However, it does less damage. But for a warrior, heroic strength always costs 15 rage. So there's no point in ever using a lower rank. So with a warrior, it automatically updates to rank 2. But if we were on a spell using class, we would have to drag down the higher rank spell we had just learned from our trainer if we want to use it from our spell book. Okay. So that's just about ranks. So every spell in this game has a rank, and then training will increase the rank. I mean, things like Hearthstone don't have a rank because it's not really a spell. It's just something, an ability you have. Just, you know, so it's just something you'll have to. Even charge has ranks. If you can see rank 1 in the gray there, hamstring rank 1. What hamstring does is it slows the target. I was talking about this when we were fighting those Scarlet Warriors. So monsters that run from you, it's kind of prudent to hamstring them beforehand so they can't run away as fast. So you're actually like hurting their legs so they can't move, if that makes sense. So we're going to use a Heroic Strike rank 2 for the first time here, and it's going to do considerably more damage than the previous rank we saw there. They did 43 damage, where we were doing in the 20s before. So it's kind of nice. Alright. These knockbacks they do are really, really annoying. These dust bats. Heroic Strike. Alright. There's 3 dust bats here, so I really hope that the RNG is in our favor. So you'll hear RNG tossed around a lot. What RNG stands for is random number generation. So everything you do in the game, everything, an attack, a spell, a random number is generated. So if you ever played tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, this will make sense. Basically, every time you swing your sword, an imaginary dice is rolled. And that dice will tell you if you hit the target or not. Similarly, a dice is rolled every time that you kill a monster, and the loot of that monster is generated. So there's only a say we have a 20-sided die, and we have to roll in between a 16 and a 20 to get our quest item. Every time we kill a dust bat, that die is rolled, and if we roll the 16 to a 20, we get our quest item. So in this case, we got it. Okay. That's the same for everything: attacks, spells, beneficial heals, everything. A heal will always hit, but there's a chance that it will critically strike. Just like anything else, there's a chance that anything will critically strike. So imaginary dices are rolled every time we do anything in this game, any action we take. And the random number generation, so computers create a random number from 1 to whatever, and if it's within a window that causes a crit or a beneficial effect, then it will cause that beneficial effect. So there's a lot of chance in this game, but you can put chance in your favor by having higher crit chances, having higher damage, all those kind of things. Okay, this quest asks for course thread, so this is a really good chance for me to talk about trade vendors and general good vendors. So trade supply vendors always have things that trades need. So if you notice here, course thread, I need that for my quest. But what course thread actually is, it's used by tailors to make items. This is one of the rare quests in the game that require you to go buy something to complete the quest. I said that in guild. So we needed course thread. So trade vendors are all throughout the game, and they will sell things for different professions that you need. Look, I could have gotten a mining pick here, a skinning knife. You know, I can get something for cooking, which I actually might buy. And I'll learn that, and I'll show you what that does in a second. And then there's general good vendors. General good vendors sell things like wood for your campfire, ammo for your ranged weapons, water for drinking, bags, you know, all these throwing weapons for rogues. You know, they sell general goods. So these 2 vendors, always look out for these guys. They're usually never major hub, and they're going to have things that are important for you. Real quick before I go any further, this is a recipe or a pattern. Like we have a pattern here for leatherworkers. I can't read this because I don't have leatherworking. However, I do have cooking, so I can read this. So if I right-click, my character will read it. Actually, let me cancel that real quick. Oh, too late. You can move and you can cancel the spell. I wanted to show you my cooking. This wasn't here before I clicked that pattern. Okay, guys? And I can actually make, if I buy mild spices, I can actually make a bunch of these if I wanted to. So just so you know that your trainer can provide new recipes for you in all your professions, but however, you can always pick up new patterns that your trainers don't know in the world. And you can have unique things that maybe other cooks or other tailors or other leather workers may not have, blacksmiths, whatever. So it's something I want to talk about. So you have learned create a new item called Crispy Batwing. So look out for patterns in the game. They'll drop in dungeons a lot, and you'll be able to use them to your advantage. Okay. All right. Let's turn in this quest. So I talked about Alliance Cities. I talked about general good and trade goods. So let's go up here and turn in this quest. Alright, and we get, let's see, a cloak for 7 or 28. Ooh, let's see, 7 armor. We have a web cloak for 5 armor, so that's only a 2 armor increase. However, this glove provides like a 12, no, a high armor increase, 8 to 18, I believe. So we're going to use that. It's much more armor for us, and we're going to wear those gloves. Even though they're leather, they're still better than what we have. I'm also going to make a bandage while we're at it. I'm actually going to clear up my bags before we head out there again. It's not letting me track this quest for some reason. I don't know why. Well, no big deal. Alright. So, we go to the vendor over here, sell stuff I don't need. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. I'm trying to think if I'll keep these for cooking or not. Well, yeah, let's just do it so I can show you what it's like. So, mild spices. So we can actually buy 5 for 10 copper, so I'll buy 2 stacks of those. And then we go to cooking. I'll make my campfire. And then we'll make our 6 meaty bat wings. Okay. And this will get our cooking up for us. Usually, guys, whenever you want to level up your professions, you want to make the thing that requires less amount of stuff. But I don't have any charred wolf meat, so I'm going to make my crispy bat wings instead. As you can see, this only requires stringy wolf meat; it doesn't require anything else. So that's what I would, if I was trying to power level through cooking, I would focus on this because it doesn't cost me any money. So our mild spices cost what, 10 copper for a stack of 5, and these actually sell for a total of 60 copper. So they sell for 10 copper each. So we actually made our money back if we sell these. They give the same amount of health as my mushrooms, so it doesn't give me any more benefits, so I'm just going to toss them. So I made some money back just by making those. Alright, let's go this way and do some quests this way. Alright, next thing I want to talk about, I talked about first aid and I talked about bandages. I didn't talk about the bandage debuff. So when you bandage yourself, guys, so if we right-click, if we hit 0 to use a bandage, I want you to notice this, recently bandaged. So you can't just keep re-bandaging yourself. There's a built-in debuff to bandages. You can't bandage yourself for another minute after you use a bandage. I didn't talk about that when I talked about bandages last time, and I want to make sure you guys realize that. There's other spells like that in the game. Like Paladins, for example, they have Divine Shield, which basically reduces all incoming damage. They can't use a similar spell like Lay on Hands, which gives all their health back right afterwards, because they have to, like, they already burned that awesome, you know, cooldown, so they have to wait in order to use a powerful spell just like it. Briefly, I want to talk about cooldowns. So cooldowns are whenever you use an ability, there's a cooldown associated with it. Okay, most abilities are on the global cooldown, or GCD, and I'll explain what that is when I get into combat. Okay. I believe most of my abilities are on the GCD, but I just want to double check and make sure. I don't want to pull both of these guys. Let me just pull. Here's one. Here's one by himself. So I'm going to charge in. If you notice, when I use one of my special abilities, I'll use Rend. You see how everything cycles? You see how everything cycled through like that? That's called the global cooldown, and it's approximately a second long. Okay. There are some abilities in this game, however, that have longer than a global cooldown. They have an extended cooldown time. And one of those is Thunderclap. So when I get a chance to pull another person, I'll use Thunderclap. And I want you to notice how long it takes for Thunderclap to cool down. So things like Heroic Strike and Rend and Hamstring, you can use over and over and over again, basically. There's no cooldown. As long as you... I mean, there's the global cooldown, which is about a second, so that means you can't spam abilities, like one after boom, 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 heroic strike, you have to wait that full second to use it again. But in the example of Thunderclap, so I'll wait till Thunderclap has enough rage. Thunderclap, as you see, has a longer than a global cooldown. It has like a 5-second cooldown. It's actually 4 seconds, as around the tooltip. It's a 4-second cooldown. So when you can't, that means you can't use Thunderclap after you use it. You can't use it for another 4 seconds. Okay, that's important. Am I gonna die here? Jesus, I wasn't hitting anything there. So you can only use Thunderclap every 4 seconds. Okay. There are some cooldowns in the game which are even longer, like minutes long. So just so you know, you have to pay attention to your cooldowns. You can't. Some abilities have long cooldowns, some abilities have short cooldowns. That's just the way of the game. That's the way the game works. Okay. So there's a bunch of quest items for these quests. One of them is the horrible of collecting these doom weeds. They have a notoriously long spawn time, and they're on the ground. You just gotta find them, and they just suck. But we'll just worry about killing stuff right now. So I covered cooldowns. It's something I also wanted to cover. Here's a doomweed over here, actually. Another thing I wanted to cover, guys, is unlearning professions. So you're not stuck with a profession, okay? You can unlearn them. So as you know, right now I have mining and I have skinning. Let's say I get tired of mining. If I go to my character sheet, I go to skills, and then I go to where is it? Professions. I can unlearn skinning by selecting my skinning skill and then hitting this unlearn profession. What you have to realize, guys, is once you click that, a warning sign will come say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And if you hit yes, you can relearn skinning, but you have to start at level 1. Okay? You can't. If you are a master skinner, level 300, maxed out skinning, and then you said, "Oh crap, I didn't mean to do that." Well, guess what? You gotta start skinning from 1 again. Okay? So don't get rid of a profession unless you are damn sure you want to get rid of it. All right? So that's another thing I wanted to cover today about that. So we knock that off the list too. The other thing I wanted to do is called V toggling, and I think that's in vanilla. But the only way I can check is if I find something. Yes. So if I hit the V key, default V, I can toggle this. Basically, you can have the health of all your enemies up. And if there's a whole bunch of enemies here, you would see their health of every single one. This is kind of nice if you have a lot of enemies around you and you want to focus on one of them and you're like, oh, which one has the least amount of health? You can click on them really quickly because you'll see all their healths. It actually is really good in dungeons, as you can probably understand why. In dungeons, you may have pools of 5 to 6 to 7 mobs, and you want to focus the one down that has the least amount of health. That's how you do it. You toggle V. So if you hit V again, I'm going to hit it now. It'll turn that option off. When you're soloing, I really don't use it. When I'm in dungeons, I tend to turn it on, especially when I'm tanking. So as you notice now, it's off now. Okay, and that's called the V toggle. I call it the V toggle. I'm not sure what it's called, but that's what I call it. Okay. These guys must be bugged or something. Let's see if I can pull this guy away from, well, by not pulling them. Yeah, okay. I also want to show you how hamstring works. So I'm going to hamstring this target now, and watch when I run away from him. See how slow he's running? He can't run after me. Okay? So hamstring is good if you want to run away from a target, but it's also great if they're running away from you, and you can slow them down. So hamstring is pretty awesome, especially in PvP. When you're fighting an opposing player, it's a way for you to really control how fast they can run away. Because you're a warrior, a lot of classes are going to be able to run away from you and kite to you. So kiting is like, imagine yourself out in the field, and you have a kite string and you're holding it, right? And whenever you run, you're pulling that kite with you. That kite is kind of following you. It may be running, it may be on its own, but at the same time, it's following you around. So, in a way, you can kite monsters. You can kite them around and around. So if I can kite the zombie. So what I'll do is I pull aggro, and what I'm doing right now is I'm kiting him. I'm moving him around like a kite, basically, right? He's following me. I'm moving him around. Well, enemy players can kind of kite you too. Not really, because you can choose to run away from them, but they can also make you run around like a madman, like I'm doing. So this is called kiting. It's called kiting a mob. So if you hear someone say kite this mob or whatever, that's what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you to run around like an idiot and move them around like a kite, essentially. So I'm kiting a bunch of mobs right now. I'm trying to get this zombie off my back. There we go. Now I can kill this guy. He's... Oh, that was weird. Ooh, there's a mining node up here too. We'll do our first mining node if nobody else gets it. As soon as we kill this guy. So I was wrong. When you log out, your fine mineral still stays up. It's when you die you have to recast it. So just so you know that, when you die you have to recast your fine minerals. Okay. So the way you mine is you run up to a mining node. I use shift click, but you don't have to do this. So I hold down shift and I right click, and my guy starts mining. I picked up a copper ore. If you notice, the vein is still here. You have to keep mining it. If your guys are coming from retail, you're probably used to mining a node and it automatically goes away. In vanilla, you can mine a node up to 4 times before it goes away. Okay? So, holding shift auto-loots, as you remember. So if you hold shift when you're done mining, your guy automatically picks up what you mined. So here's your copper ore here in my bag. I'll put it in one of my secondary bags here. One thing I do want to stress though, even though you mine a node or a vein more than once, you only get 1 skill up point per node. You're not guaranteed a skill up point, but if you're going to get a skill up point, you're only going to get it once, even though you mine the damn thing like 4 times, which kind of sucks, but that's just the way the game is. So that's mining. The only other gathering profession is herbalism, and you can only pick an herb once and it disappears. It's not like mining where you can mine it multiple times. If there was an herb here, you can only pick it up once. This is a grave robber. I already have 8 of those killed, so I don't need that one. I need to find more doomweed though. I only have 2. So the doomweed quest it's a pain in the ass. It's one of the worst quests in early game, I think, because these things are never where you want them to be. So what I'll do is instead I'll start running towards the field here where our rot-hide mongrels should be hiding. There's one. These guys are on my level, so they're actually not that easy to kill. I'd really like a new weapon. Hopefully I pick one up soon. This weapon is like doing crap damage. Okay. That's a rawhide null. I don't need that. There's usually some doomweed that spawns over here. Oh, there's one. There's 2. There's 3. I hope this guy doesn't take any. Oh, he's running over there. Good. So this is nice. This is going to help questing a lot. There's a mongrel. Okay. Charge in. Rend. Heroic strike. Nice, we got him down a little bit. So 2 more hits and he should be dead, hopefully. Okay. Alright, I don't see any more doomweed. Let's see if this guy wants to kill. There's a maggot hide up here. So yeah, we're gonna get in the party and help each other out here. So remember guys, if you enter /P space, you enter party chat. Up. So he's up. So this is Maggot Eye. He's level 11. So I really hope I survive this. I have a potion, so I want to ready this potion in case I need it. Want to hamstring him? So I can kite him around. I want to use my potion. I'm doing like crap damage to him right now. He's running, that's good. I'll hamstring him. Good shit. So he's dead. So that's how you basically, so I'm in a group right now. I don't think I've actually talked about groups, but I will do that with JR, so I won't leave, I'll leave this alone. Basically, this is a group interface. You have your group members here. This is me, this is the guy in the group. I'll go into the nitty-gritty in a second, though. So I'm going to leave group. And I probably won't get that item, but again, what you just saw was when you are in a group and a green or better item drops, a window comes up and a dice and a coin come up. Okay, it's basically so that you guys can share loot. You know, it's not fair that one person gets loot and another person doesn't. What those that bird's flying around like crazy. What those two things mean, what the dice and the coin mean, are if you really need that item, you click the dice. If you don't really need it, you click the greed. If you just want to use it to sell to a vendor or something, you click the greed icon. Okay. This ensures that only players that really need the item get it. If a cloth piece drops, I'd be a real asshole if I clicked need, because cloth items are crap for warriors. Conversely, if a male item dropped and I was in a group with a priest or a mage or a warlock, they'd be assholes if they needed on that. Okay, you want to make sure you don't need on things that your class doesn't need. You can greed it, that's fine, because a need will always supersede a greed, always. So essentially what happens is once you click one of the two things, once you click need or greed, a dice roll, like I said before, will occur. If two people need the same thing, the person with the higher dice roll wins. Very simple, right? It's a computer-generated dice roll. You have no control over it, and it rolls between 1 and 100. The person who has the higher roll wins, of course. In the case of a tie, the computer will just re-roll. If one person needs and one person greeds, let's say the person with the need roll only rolled a 1, and the person with the greed roll rolled 100, the person with the need roll still wins because they needed. Does that make sense? A need always supersedes a greed. Always. Okay? We'll talk about that much more when we're in parties and dungeons, when we do our party-specific tutorial, which will be a whole episode in itself. But that's essentially the difference between need and greed. Okay? God, I need a better weapon. This guy's dodging all my attacks. Okay. If you notice, guys, I went down to the beach there, and there was like these crazy-looking fish people. Those are murlocs. I talked about them briefly in another episode. Those guys are notorious for chain aggroing. They run away from you, they chain aggro, and they're just, oh god, they're a pain. So, something to keep in mind. Also, something that I want to talk about guilds. Say you're tired of your guild and you want to leave. You're not stuck in your guild. You can go to your guild, and you can go to guild information. Nope, that's not it. Close. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Huh. Okay, there used to be a way you can leave a guild without using a command. Anyway, the command to leave a guild is /G quit. All one word, no spaces, and when you hit enter, you'll leave the guild. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. I will leave this guild eventually when I find a better guild, but /G quit is how you quit a guild. Okay. It's really weird that I can't. Anyway, you know, in retail you can just click leave guild, but in vanilla there must be only the command /e quit. So. Alright, I hope to finish at least some of these quests before we leave, but it may not happen. We need 4 more Doomweed. We need some more Ichor. We need some more Mongrels. We need one Mongrel, 2 Ichors, and 4 Doomweeds. And then I'm going to head back to Brill and turn these in before we start doing other quests. That's a Null. There's a Priest. Hey, Priest. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. There's not much out here, huh? It's a barren field. Oh, that's a Null. Oh, here's one. There's one over there, too. I'll pull him next. Alright. So we've got all our Mongrels, but we need one more Ichors, and they only drop off these guys. They drop off any Rodhide Null, so... Oh, there's a... this Warlock just decided to help me out there, I guess. Sweet! We've gotten all of them. Okay. So we need 4 more Doomweed. I actually might get in a group with this Warlock to kill these Murlocs. So I'm whispering him. If you notice, I right-clicked on the portrait, and I hit invite for Murlocs, please. So we'll see if she does. So I'll just say it. Okay, so this will allow us to share quest items. So what happens is, maybe I'll just do parties right now. I'll go into more depth when I'm with JR, but basically we're in a party, okay? You see this person over here. She's the leader of the party. That's what this crown is. I'm the loot master. So actually, I can actually change the loot, but I can't do that now. But anyway, so when you're in a party, guys, all the experience gained from killing monsters is shared. Okay. See how I get 47 XP? I should have gotten double that if I was by myself. So every person that's in your group, your level of XP is reduced. If there was a third person in this group, each of us would get a third of the total experience. A third, okay? Not all of it. So that's something to keep in mind. When you're in a group, you get less XP. In dungeons, that's less of a problem because you're fighting elites. Elites are monsters that have a lot more hit points and do a lot more damage. So the shared XP is not a big deal. It's actually great because you wouldn't be able to kill elites by yourself. If you want to watch a video of me trying to kill an elite in the dungeon, check out one of my first videos where I compare dungeon difficulty between retail WoW and vanilla WoW. Let's just say it's very different. Okay? So right now, we're in this party. Oh my god. This is not good. I'll try to stay alive here. I'll use my potion. So I'm getting hit by a lot here right now, basically. So we killed one. We'll start working on this one. Great. That actually worked out wonderfully. Oh, nice shield there. Okay. So I want to see how many. Okay, so even though you share XP, guys, you do not share quest items. So I need 5 vial fin scales, right? Well, she also does too. And when one drops and I pick it up, only I get that one. She needs to kill more to get her 5. So quest items are not shared, guys, okay? XP is shared, quest items are not. Just something to keep in mind. Let's see if this is better than mine. 55 armor, 79 armor. Yes, that's better than mine. So that's a better shield for me. Okay, that's a big group. We're not going to even attempt that. We're gonna die. So we're gonna get this one who's by himself. Remember chain aggroing? Yeah. So you enter a party by right-clicking on the portrait of the player, then you hit a. Well, there will be an invite here. She invited me, so she was already in a group when I met her. She's running away or something. I don't know why. So I'm by myself. I might die here. Unless she starts running away, which she should start in a second. Whew, that was close. Okay. He dropped a staff, which I can't use, unfortunately. So we'll get into weapon training in a different episode. But you have to train to use other weapons that you're not able to use. Warriors can use staffs. Weirdly, they can. But you have to train that first. You can't just start using them. I started off as an undead warrior, so I can use one-handed swords, two-handed swords, and daggers. I can't use other weapons yet. I have to go to different major horde cities to learn how to use those weapons. So this guy's going to run in the other group, so I'm going to hamstring him so he doesn't run as fast. And we pulled that group. I'm going to run away and hopefully survive this. I don't know if I will, though. Good, she pulled him off. That's great. She pulled aggro off this guy, so he's not no longer attacking me. Well, he is attacking me. Never mind. So we somehow survived that one. And I got all my Violfin scales. Great. So, as you can see, I'm still going to remain and help her. Why? Because she didn't get all of hers yet. It would be really kind of crappy of me to just run away and not help her out. So I want to run away from this guy because he's hitting me. So now she has aggro on him. It's just a way to strategically kind of spread the damage. Ooh, let's see how much armor that thing has. 63 armor. Oh, mine's is better. /P is party. How many more? Just want to see how many she has left to get. Let's start making bandages while we're sitting here. I don't want to leave her alone. Okay, well, if she insists. I think she wants the XP. But I'll help her kill this mob first. Okay. Just gonna say goodbye to her. Well, that worked out really nicely for me, because these guys are really hard to kill for a warrior. Warriors are kind of, they're kind of slow, low-level guys. When they get a little bit more powerful and higher levels, they're really good to solo in, but they're kind of tough. So that was like a brief introduction to parties. That may have been enough for a while, but I still want to get involved in JR to do a full hour of being in a group. Okay, real quick, if you notice, guys, my linen bandages became yellow, which means I'm no longer guaranteed a level up each bandage I make. I know from experience, however, I can't learn the next bandage up till I hit first aid of 50. I'm at 31 right now. When I do get to 50, I can train in the heavy linen bandage, and that requires 2 linen cloth to make, not 1. And then I'm starting to guaranteed skill ups again. But I have to get it to level, I think it's either 40 or 50. It's 40. So I need 9 more skill points up in order to get to make heavy linen bandages. So I'm going to keep making linen bandages until I get to 40, and then I'm going to go to my first aid trainer and learn heavy linen bandages. Okay, so I'm just pulling mobs here, just running away. I don't need to kill them right now, so I'm just going to keep running. But I do need 4 more Doomweed. I'm debating on whether it's worth. Oh, there's one here, which is great, so I'll get that. That's a good sign. Maybe I should stay around. So 3 more of those, and I'm golden. Let's see. Do I see any more? Okay, none over here. I'm going to turn back around. I'm going to go back over by that barn. There seems to be a lot that spawn over there. Yeah, I'll get lucky. And the good news is once I turn all these quests, I'm pretty sure I'll level again, which is nice. Increasing levels just makes grinding that much easier. Let's see, do I have anything in here that's any good? I got some seashells, Doomweed, that's a quest item, spices, ichor, all quest items. Nothing really great. I'll probably sell this staff. Alright, here's 1. 2. Stand at max range. So when the gear turns gold, that's when you know you're in range to grab it. So I don't want to aggro this guy, so I'm trying to stay away as far as I can. Okay, that's 9. I want to kill this guy because there's one right there. Battle Shout on to get more damage. Every time you parry, guys, it resets your auto attack. So my weapon hits every 3.2 seconds. That's my speed of my weapon. Oh, damn it. So see how it interrupted? But whenever I parry, it goes back to attack. So whenever I parry, it automatically uses an auto attack, so you actually attack faster when you parry. So not only do you mitigate the damage, but you get an additional, not an additional attack, but you attack again. I just picked up some chain bracers, which are 25 armor. No, mine's better. Okay. Alright, so I've gotten the Doomweed quest out of the way, so I'm going to head back now. Okay. So the only thing else I wanted to cover today was road signs. When you're traveling on a road, in addition to them being safe for traveling, you're less likely to come across a monster on the road. You'll notice that there's road signs throughout the game. When you hover your mouse over the road sign, it tells you which direction things are. I don't see one here. That was really weird. Let's see if I run into one. I want to go through the graveyard real quick, turn in some quests. Okay, here's one. Doomweed. Continue. Get some gold from that. Nice. Some XP. There's also a turn-in over here. This is the vial fin. Yep. 4 nightweb spiders. Okay. This sand is an item you can use. The sand he just gave me. Let's see. Here it is. Slumber sand. Puts the enemy target to sleep for up to 20 seconds. You can actually throw this at an enemy. It's a form of crowd control. I probably won't use it, but let's turn this in. I can either get 96 armor pants. Yep, better than one I have. So we're going to take those. And we dinged. Put the pants on. Okay. And we have another turn in over here. Oh, 55 armor gloves. Yep. Okay. Put those on. Oh, here's another quest for us. Oh, yeah. I know these. Okay, we'll talk about those later. I wish I was high enough level to do this. Ragefire Chasm. Alright, so we're going to turn in. We're going to sell. We're going to sell this. That. I'm probably not going to use these, let's be honest. That. Old shield. If you have fishing, next episode I'm going to go over fishing. I'm just going to briefly go over fishing. It's one of those secondary skills I was talking about before that everybody can get. We'll go over that next episode in addition with some other things I want to talk about. I don't need water. This is for quests. I'll sell the extra bandages. I'll need 27 of them. I'll sell this, and I'll sell this. So I made some gold there. It's pretty nice. And over here, everything else I need. Okay. So let me see if I can come across. Oh, here, perfect. Here's a road sign. So these are all over the game, guys. So Gammon Mill is Death Valley. That's where you start starting zone. The Undercity, which is kind of a roundabout way to get there. Actually, the fastest way is through there. Orgrimmar Zeppelin just came in. And Silver Pine Forest is that way? Yeah, it is if you follow the road that way, but it's a really roundabout way because the road actually travels this way. It's actually easier to go Silver Pine Forest that way. It's actually one of the new zones. Not new zones. It's the second zone you go to as an undead. You don't have to go there, but it's an option. So these are road signs. Look for them. They're all over the place. They're really awesome. So I'm going to log out here and call it a day. Thank you for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. I'm going to actually go into Undercity and put this back up one more time on auction, see if it sells. I might actually put up some light leather. Actually, I'm going to log out in Undercity because I want to go over what smelting is. So the next episode I'll start with smelting, and I'll start with that, and then we'll talk about fishing, and if we have time we'll go into more party system stuff. Okay, so thanks again, guys. Great time. Thanks for watching another episode of the Meldoron tutorials, and have a great evening, and as always, have fun, have a good time, and head out there in the daylight sometimes too. Okay, have a good one.